Do you feel like your partner is more married to their career than to you?
Is your date basically a conference call?
In their heart, there's just an open space office.
But you're not an employee. You're a person who deserves attention too.
Today, we're talking about the destructive careerist.
The one who works like the survival of humanity depends on it.
But the cost is often your heart and your relationship.
Because for them, you're not always a priority, just another item in their calendar.
Why is it important to recognize this?
Because life with such a partner can be draining.
And yes, surprise, you might have these traits too.
Work swallows us up sometimes, even without obsession.
So let's break down how it looks from the outside.
And what to do if you recognize these traits in your partner.
Or maybe even in yourself. Psychological portrait. A destructive careerist is someone for whom work becomes the main stage of life.
And everyone else is just background actors in their play.
Their core belief is simple. Value equals achievement.
And preferably with a bonus or a raise.
In their world, love feels abstract, but KPIs are very real.
If reporting feels like romance to you, then good luck.
For them, every day is just another step up, and if you can't keep up, they see you as an obstacle.
But the problem isn't just ambition.
It's that everything personal is adjusted to deadlines and work schedules.
Your birthday might be postponed to the weekend if you're lucky.
Their excuse always sounds familiar. I'm doing this for us. But the truth is, the us slowly disappears.
And you start to feel like an accessory to their laptop.
At first, a careerist can seem charming.
They look reliable, responsible, ambitious.
But when passion for work spins out of control, balance is lost.
It's like living on coffee, plenty of energy, little happiness.
They genuinely believe they're securing the future, but the future loses meaning if the present is destroyed.
Inside them is a huge fear of failure.
They're terrified of being unneeded.
That's why they cling to work like a life raft.
Only they try to swim alone, forgetting you're in the water too.
Often it goes back to childhood, proving themselves to their parents.
In adulthood, it becomes a race with no finish line.
Their favorite phrase is just a little more.
Translation, never.
Even rest is treated as an investment in productivity.
And you feel your role shrinking beside them.
They may look strong from the outside.
But inside, it's vulnerability disguised as work.
They crave respect and fear losing it.
That's why they become prisoners of their own ambition. Their career grows, but the relationship shrinks.
And that's the paradox of the destructive careerist.
Signals you need to be aware of. How do you recognize if your partner is a destructive careerist?
Let's look at the red flags.
Number 1. You talk less than their colleagues do.
Work topics dominate all conversations.
You know more about their boss's mood than your own.
Number 2, constant lack of time.
They're always too busy.
Even when you just want 10 minutes together.
Number 3, postponed plans.
Vacations? Later.
Romantic dinner? After this project.
Spoiler, the project never ends.
Number 4, lack of emotional presence.
Physically they're near you, but mentally, always at work.
Their phone buzzes more than your conversations do.
Number 5, comparison.
They compare you to colleagues.
Or worse, to deadlines.
Number 6, success becomes a measure of love.
If you don't fit into their system of achievements, you're undervalued.
And that slowly eats away at your self-esteem.
If you see these signs, pay attention.
Episodes that speak for themselves.
Imagine you're going out for dinner.
But instead of the menu, he opens his laptop.
You expect him to look up.
But his gaze is glued to the presentation.
And suddenly, you're no longer a loved one, just a backdrop for his work.
Classic scene of a destructive careerist.
Or another case, it's your birthday.
Cake with a lit candle, and he's on a call with colleagues.
You stand there listening to other people's reports.
Birthday mood, more like corporate spirit.
It's noticeable in everyday life, too.
He might leave the house with his phone in hand without saying goodbye.
And you catch yourself thinking, was he even here?
Physically, yes. Emotionally, no.
The careerist often justifies himself,
I'm doing this for us. But it looks like he's doing it for his own resume.
and your world gradually shrinks to waiting for his free moment.
Even shared leisure time becomes work.
Imagine sea, beach, and he's with a laptop under the umbrella.
True romantic. Let's take a photo for the report.
And you realize the vacation is just a change of office location.
Even when interacting with friends, he's at work.
When the group laughs, he checks his emails.
And reacts to your stories like a report. Noted.
And it hurts because you feel like you're speaking into a void.
In conflicts with this partner often resemble business negotiations.
Let's discuss the issue constructively.
But in the end, he's always right.
In his world, results matter more than your feelings.
Another scene. You suggest spending the evening together.
And he replies, later, I'm busy.
And that later never comes.
Because tomorrow he has urgent matters again.
Even romantic gestures are subordinated to work.
Instead of flowers, a USB with a presentation.
Instead of a walk, a lecture on the business plan.
And you feel less like a loved one and more like an audience.
In such relationships, distance grows.
You become an item on the to-do list.
Somewhere between client meeting and refuel the car.
And gradually, your value in his eyes disappears.
But the most painful part, feeling lonely next to him.
Being a couple, yet feeling alone.
It's like sitting next to a TV broadcasting endless work news.
And you start asking yourself, where am I in this relationship?
This is what life with a destructive careerist looks like. He always has a project, but rarely you.
If your partner is a careerist.
What to do if your partner is like this?
First, talk openly.
Share your feelings, not accusations.
Second, set boundaries.
For example, no phones during dinner.
Third, look at actions, not promises.
After this project, check if they actually change.
If not, you'll always be in second place.
Remember, your value isn't measured by their attention.
And it's okay to choose yourself.
If you are a careerist,
And if you recognize yourself in this, start with honesty.
ask, what am I afraid of losing?
Often it's fear of being unneeded.
But love isn't earned by overtime.
Learn to separate work and relationships.
Rest is not wasted time.
It's like charging your battery.
If you don't, you'll burn out and lose what really matters.
Career is important
But it should not devour love.
because no success will replace closeness.
And no raise will warm you at night.
Relationships need presence, not just promises.
Balance is possible if you value not only achievements,
But also the person next to you.
and if you recognize these traits in yourself, see it as a chance.
Change begins with awareness.
You're already taking a step towards healthier relationships.
And that's more than most people do.
Write in the comments if you recognize this in yourself or your partner. And don't forget to subscribe, there's more helpful content ahead.